This episode of Catch the Craze is brought to you by Sin Eater. Sin Eater is a campaign on Kickstarter right now. Pledge today.
This episode of What's in the Box is sponsored by Forbidden Indiegogo.
Mail call! Mail? Hey, I wonder what could it be? The only way to find out is to open and see. Could it be Monday? Oh, maybe not. The only way to know is to watch What's in the Box.
Hey there, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Yeah, you right there, Mr. Postman. Hey, Mr. Postman, look at me. Is there a package just waiting for me? Where's my box? Where's my box? What's in the box?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of What's in the Box. I'd like to give a special shout to our sponsor, Sin Eater. Thank you for sponsoring Catch the Craze's What's in the Box. Sin Eater is currently on Kickstarter. Go out and check out Sin Eater and pledge today. Also, this episode is also sponsored by Forbidden. Forbidden currently on Indiegogo. We have 18 days left. Please support Forbidden, and the link is below. The link is also below for Sin Eater. Thank you so much. So this episode, I had a creative reach out to me on Twitter asking me if I would feature Beckoning of Aetherius on it's the Feminist Part 1 and on What's in the Box. And of course I said yes. So this is the first time actually doing a digital review. I usually do physical copies. So here I will be going through this. So I read the book. If you are a fan of Mean Girls, you're going to love this. If you are dealing with identity crisis, you're going to love this book. If you've had disagreements with your best friend because of trying to fit into society, you're going to love this book. So, first of all, I love the cover. The cover stands out to me immediately. Just looking at it, the illustrator who did this fantastic work. So we're gonna go into. So when you see the cover, you see someone who's crying. You look at the title, "The Feminist Part 1." So begs a lot of questions. What can you expect? So let's go on. We turn the page, and so story and art by C.J. Anderson. Copyright 2012. So this was originally created in 2012. And so, boom, you open up onto this double-page spread with a young girl reading magazines. Fantastic. I love the fact that they also colored over the black lines because it looks like it's coming out of an animated series. Like you can see it moving. I love the magazine covers. I just think that scene alone, that could have been the cover. Well, nicely done. So, young ladies reading, the boys reading. Boys should be girls, and it says "Get back to Mars" on the hat, and then girls are smarter than boys. It's funny. So that in itself I thought it was pretty hilarious. And then it starts. The girl's startled, and it's like, what's going on? And there is a shouting match going on between two girls. And they're at a bookstore, and it's crowded, and everyone's looking. Like, oh gosh, it's going down for real. So, here it is, two friends. And, you think of Mean Girls, you think about, the nerdy looking friend and the girl that's more trendy, trying to fit in, into society, creating a facade. So that's what you see here. And I enjoyed this part. So then here it is. She's yelling at her friend Sienna because she feels her friend is judgmental, is judging her. And her friend is basically saying the whole fight started on the word independence. I'm an independent person. And she's like, well, you can't truly be independent if you don't have your own thoughts. And that's where it just goes off. Right? So, and it's what I enjoyed about this is because it plays on reality where it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And then how do you influence someone's mindset without triggering the wrong response, right? So here it's where it's almost as if the friend's trying to lecture her in, well, you're not independent because you're a follower, right? You're a trope. You're chasing an image. You're trying to fit in with a crowd that you disagree with on a lot of levels, but because you want to be popular, you want to be cool. So you've given up your identity. That's basically the argument. And she's like, you don't know me. Who are you? All you do is pass judgment, and you think that you're Mother Teresa. You think that you're better than everybody. And so that's where it is. So it's no one's listening. And that's the gist of this. And what I like about this is that it captures a lot of the emotion, the back and forth that you can see in life. And here's where she's talking about, and she gives examples on how where they, the cool girls, well, the mean girls, they say, I hate labels. People who use them to define others are stupid. Right, Meth? And she's like, right. But in her thoughts, which I thought was pretty cool, she says, wait a second, didn't you just label those people stupid? Right? So there's a contradiction, but she's going along with it. So they don't like people who use labels, but they're labeling others. She's going along with it when she disagrees. And that's just an example, and I thought that was pretty cool. And they continue going back and forth about judgment, and she's tired of her friend being negative and judgmental, and her friend's trying to explain to her she's not. She just she wants her to be herself, right? So Sienna wants, I forgot her name, wants her to be herself, and she's like, stop trying to fit in. If you're independent, be independent. If you're not independent, that's cool too. Just be yourself. And the back and forth, the emotion, the look of surprise, the look of frustration, the look of pain and anger and fear, it kicks off into high gear when she notices her cross on her chest, and then the assumption is made because she looked at it. How many times have you been in that situation where someone makes an assumption, right? I gave an example on a podcast where we were talking about, I watched that someone who's been out of work for a while came back, and automatically the coworkers assumed that she was pregnant because her belly looked bigger. So they went over to congratulate her without asking, without waiting for the information. They just assumed, but she wasn't pregnant, right? And so she just put on some weight, and it just went downhill from there, right? So here it is. She's looking at the cross, and so now she's like, "What are you looking at? Oh, now you're passing judgment. Yeah, I'm Christian. You're a misogynistic bigot," and it just goes off. And she's like, that's not what I was going to say. Right? And again, they're just not listening to each other. And they're not finding the right words to convey. And they're lecturing. And there's no way you can get out of an argument by trying to defend your position. the only way you can get out of an argument is to not have the argument in the first place, or pose things as hypotheticals. What if? Is there another way? Could we have? Instead of you, because this is a great lesson on what causes people to get on the defense. When you say you to somebody, that's a trigger. Now I'm on alert. What do you mean me? What are you gonna say, right? And you see my response. I'm bucked up. I'm ready for whatever it is that you're going to unleash on me, because I'm assuming the worst, and that's just natural. It happens in society. We just assume the moment we hear you, and so nothing good comes from that. Instead of figuring out how to ask open-ended questions, it's like, how do your new friends make you feel about yourself? I think, or make you feel instead of about yourself. How do they make you feel? Do you have fun with them? Are you having fun with them? I think rather than attacking, I think you have to probe more. And this is while it's a comic, it's done well. And I think it's written well. And just look at the angles, the camera angles, the action lines. It just looks, they did a great job. The artist did a great job. Here it is. She's running off. She doesn't want anything to do with her. She's just like destroyed. Because the one friend that she thought she could be herself around is the one that's passing judgment. Because imagine the burden that's on your shoulders to be around a group of people that you're creating a facade of, just to fit in. But you don't have to do that on that one person, and that person is tearing you down. So she's defeated, right? She feels overwhelmed. So she's running out there. Everyone at the bookstore is like, oh, snaps. And this scene right here, I just love it. Totally different style of art. Just the mood, the clouds, the rain, the lightning, running across the street, the drama. Well done. Beautiful. And then, let me move this here. I'll move you over so you can see the page full. Just the running with the camera angles, the foot hitting the water in the rain, the puddle. And she's still trying to figure out, she's like, look at me, that's not what I'm saying. And she goes back into lecturing. At this point, you're shut down. The human is shut down. I'm not listening anymore. There's nothing you can say that's going to change my opinion. I think sometimes you gotta take your losses and move on, right? And I think you gotta recognize when you're not winning in a conversation, if that's your intention, and then you have to leave it for another time and wait for the person to ask. When you impose your opinion on somebody, you're asking for trouble. You have to wait till it's sought after. When the person comes to you and say, hey, what do you think? The follow-up question is, how are you going to perceive my opinion if I share it with you because you've asked me? My opinion is only based on my perception, and it's based on what I know of you, and I care about you because you asked me. Here's what I know. Here's what I see. That's it. Sometimes you have to set the stage. Let me go back up here. And then look at this shot. Beautiful. Two styles of art, and, people standing in the rain, always that crowd, the peepers, the onlookers. And then she finally is like, I'm done with you. And she leaves. Great way to end the story. Look at that. She's standing in the rain by herself. Has a close-up shot of like she was about to go after her, and then she realizes, no, don't do it. And then she stays still and watching her friend walk off. Left with her own thoughts of what went wrong, what could I have done differently, how did we get here. So then I love this part at the end. It says, do you really know who and what we are? Are the thoughts and beliefs we have actually our own? Is there a limit to how far we go with these questions, or should we go as far as we can regardless of the consequences? Two friends work their way through this burden. What will become of their future? I enjoyed this story. It was different. You know, when I first opened it, I was like, oh, okay, it's a girl book, right? You know, being a guy, I'm not chauvinistic, but, you know, it's like, all right, you know, what is this? And when I saw the argument, I was like, okay, you know, wasn't something that I would normally pick up. But then I started reading it, and I recognized so many different conversations that I've been privy to, I've overheard, I've witnessed. And the reality of it is what made it so much more appealing to me. The artwork was brilliant. You did an amazing job with the artwork. Fantastic illustrator, amazing colorist. I mean, just fantastic. And then you nailed it with the story. If you haven't picked this up, you need to get a copy of it. This was a spoiler, my bad. But this is what What's in the Box is. But great job with this. I truly recommend this. So that was another episode of What's in the Box. And don't forget that Forbidden is currently on Indiegogo. And we have 18 days to go. Anybody who pledges at the $25 mark or greater, you will get this pinup that you see with the cast of Forbidden. And this is not available on Indiegogo. It's not available as a perk. I'm throwing it in as a bonus, as an incentive. So if you pledge at $25 or more, you're going to get this from me. This wasn't part of the original plan because this is actually part of the double page cover for the collected edition coming out in the fall. But this is what you're going to get. So head over to Indiegogo. The link is below. Also check out Beckoning of Aetherius, and I'm going to put the link below so you can go check it out. And if you want to sponsor an episode like Sin Eater did, all you have to do is click the link below where it says become a sponsor, and it'll take you to the page. You select which episode you want to sponsor. Hit pay on PayPal, as low as $5 to $10, and you can promote whatever it is that you're doing on the show. I'm Sam the Crazy Man. This is What's in the Box. And if you want to be featured on What's in the Box, it's as simple as just hitting me up and let's get it done. Talk to you soon. Peace.
What's in the box?